Speeding.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first comedian that came to my set is Dan.
Probably
Hopefully.
the last.
No, I hope I have a whole line of more comedians coming in today, and I hope that your trade is very dear to my heart. I done it when I was a kid, and always have great memories in the comedian world. But you're not only comedian, you also do voiceover, you're an actor, you do a number of things, and you started as Intel engineer.
Right.
Why comedian?
Right. I was an engineer with Intel. My job was to travel the world with the executives of Intel, like the CEO, and do technical demonstrations on stage. Now, I could design the technical demos. I'm half Indian and half Japanese, so it was like I was bred for it, right? In fact, when I applied for the job at Intel, they said, "You're Indian and Japanese, you don't even have to interview," right? So I was terrified, though, of speaking on stage in front of thousands of people at events all over the world. So I thought I have to do something to get over the fear, so I took a comedy class. And,
And that hooked you up.
oh yeah, the final exam for the class is a performance at the Punchline in San Francisco. Did really well, got the video, showed it to my coworkers at Intel, and they said, "You should perform at Comdex for the Intel group, 200 people." And someone saw that and came up and said, "Can you do this at the annual sales conference for 2,500 Intel employees?" And it was Monday morning at 8 o'clock. No one had been drinking, right? And
That was a type audience.
Yeah, and it was people from all over.
Comedy usually done at night.
Exactly, for drunks. And so I was only half right. But I made fun of the CEO, Andy Grove, who recently passed away, and he has a very thick Hungarian accent. And they were dying. They were banging on tables, and people came up and said, "Now, you're not really an Intel engineer. You were hired to pretend you're an Intel engineer, but you're really a professional comedian." And that's when I thought I could do this.
That gave you a confidence.
Yeah.
So it's not something from inside, but when you get recognition from others, that's how you get.
It's out of my life, really.
But why do you do so many things at once? Juggling so many balls, you voiceover, actor. Like, is it helpful, or it actually hurts? Because people can say the argument, if you're a comedian, that's what you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then if you do so many other things, you might not be the great at each one.
Well, that is true. I mean, I'm not great at any of these. But comedy actually leads into these other professions. I see comedy as the roots of a tree, and then voiceover, print modeling, which, believe it or not, I have 3 print agents. Yeah, me. Voiceover, these are all branches of the tree. So
Right.
I did a commercial
so
for...
you bring something from those back to the
I did a commercial for Apple with those 2 guys. You know, I'm a Mac, I'm a PC. I did voiceover for Family Guy last year.
Okay, not everybody like Seinfeld is famous and makes a lot of money. Let's talk about how the comedians makes money.
Well, usually in the beginning, you make nothing, right? You start out making... It took me 2 years to make $5. And how did I make $5? I was handing out those flyers in Times Square, you know, "Come see the comedy show." I got $1 for each person who showed up. But it's possible to make, if you're a clean comedian and you're doing a corporate show, you can make 5, 10, 15, 20,000 for an hour of work. Now, I don't get that every time. I mean, it's very lumpy.
How do you get that kind of clean comedian look and reputation?
Well, I mean, I don't do any sex material or swearing on stage, nothing. And so I'm known for being a clean comedian, done a lot of corporate shows, performed for President Obama, and for President Trump, who was absolutely fantastic. I mean, I'm fantastic. I'm at his golf course in Palm Beach, and performed for Mrs. Clinton as well. And all of these are charity
How do you
galas.
get those big gigs? Like, what's special? But there are plenty of other guys who try and
girls.
fail, and girls.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the internet allows you to market yourself. I've got 1.5 million, I think, on one YouTube video, which has gotten me booked in 28 countries all over the world. I think it's just very aggressive marketing. For example, I got to perform at a lot of events.
Do you post a lot of videos of you
Videos?
performing, or you hire the firm? Like, what do you do?
Oh, no, I do
specifically?
everything myself.
You
Now,
do everything yourself.
For example, if I see an event I really want to do, like say Wisdom 2.0, which actually, do you know Meng Tan from Google?
Okay.
Yeah, he wrote Search Inside Yourself. He's sort of the meditation guru at Google. He saw me at a conference called Wisdom 2.0. How did I get that conference? I just emailed the organizers and said, I'm a clean comedian. Could I come and perform? Also, Ariana Huffington was there, and I got a very nice testimonial from her. I have a testimonial from President Obama on tape.
Okay, that helps.
Yeah, and so it's very aggressive, marketing. At the end of the show, I hand my card out to every person. I sell CDs and DVDs.
We spoke on the phone, and you mentioned you do impersonations on the phone, and you get Trump and others fall for it.
I've called famous people like Governor Patterson and Donald Trump and pretended to be Bill Clinton. And I would call up his office and said, this is the office of President Bill Clinton. I have Mr. Clinton on the line for Mr. Trump, please. And I couldn't believe it. They put me through to his assistant, and then I said the same thing, and I hear this, hello, and it was him. And and I said, now we had a couple of people drop out of Chelsea's wedding, and we were wondering if you might like to attend. I was basically inviting him to Chelsea's wedding, which was the next day. He goes, Bill, I'd be honored. And here's the funny thing is I never told him it was a joke because I was terrified because that was the first famous person I got on the phone. And I read about a year ago during the election campaign in Vanity Fair, it says, Donald Trump tried to crash Chelsea's wedding. And
So
that's because of me.
You've been behind this. Okay.
Yeah.
So you do practical jokes. What do you think of the guys like Sacha Baron Cohen and the
Brilliant.
a new crew of the comedy that's more like a pranks? Do you think that has a future?
I think. I mean, he's got an amazing career, right? And you remember the Jerky Boys from a long time ago, and so I want to. Maybe I shouldn't say it here, but I want to get 500 celebrities and call them up as Bill Clinton and get them on YouTube one per week, right? And release Donald Trump one week, and then maybe Richard Branson next week, and then maybe just I'll be known as a guy who called up all these famous people as Bill Clinton.
Do you do any live shows?
Do live shows all over the world.
Not like I mean the record and have the okay.
Yeah, so I've done Singapore, Malaysia, Dubai 6 times, 5 tours of India. I even did Pakistan, and I know the laughs were real because no one's drinking over there. It's a very 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 strict country. And I've been all over.
It will be definitely a pleasure to record something with you.
Great.
Maybe.
Oh, and I have a sitcom I'm trying to.
Once you just came in, but once you see other studios, maybe
That's beautiful.
you'll find a few more sets interesting for you.
And I've just written a sitcom about a comedian who has a brain injury. I had a brain injury and almost passed away 2 years ago. Hit my head at a gym called Crunch, ironically. Had to go to the hospital and almost passed away and survived. And so the sitcom's about a Intel engineer, has a brain injury, survives and decides he wants to leave and become a comedian and start his own clean comedy club.
Wow.
In a laundromat.
What's your Instagram?
Everything is Comedian Dan. ComedianDan.com. Everything is Comedian Dan. Facebook, Comedian Dan. Twitter, Comedian Dan. And MySpace. And Friendster. No, I'm just kidding.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have questions or you'd like to book Dan, perhaps you can reach out. You just heard his social media, and you can still see it on the teleprompter, on the subtitles. We'll love to have you again.
Thank you very much. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. Thank you.